In today's lesson 6, we will be working with the perimeter of a polygon and the area of a rectangle, square, and parallelogram. In order to deal with perimeter and area, the first thing we need to do is to review or to study about some geometrical ideas. As we're working in today's lesson, if I go over any concepts that are not clear to you, cut the tape off and get some help. Also, be sure to take notes when we talk about new concepts. Before we can talk about perimeter and area, we need to talk about some geometrical ideas. The first thing I want to make sure is that you know what a line is. Okay, a line is a one-dimensional figure, just has the dimension of length. Notice when I've drawn this line, I've used an arrow on each end. That's to indicate the line never stops. And if we wanted to name the line, we picked 2 points on the line. I just picked point A and point B, and we would call that line AB. Now I want us to think about a line segment. Line segments are what we're really going to be working with today when we look at different figures. A line segment is a part of a line. It's like taking one little piece out of a line. As you remember, a line didn't stop. It went forever to the left and it went forever to the right. Or if you were drawing in another direction, it might go forever up and down. But a line has arrows on both ends. A line segment is different. It has a beginning point and it has an ending point. These are called the endpoints of the line segment. And what a line segment actually is it's two endpoints together with all the points that are in between these two endpoints. So this figure is called a line segment. And we say that's line segment CD. Now we want to talk about what a polygon is. A polygon is a closed figure that is made up of 3 or more of these line segments that I have up here. So if I put 3 or more line segments together, we'd have a polygon. The segments are called sides of the polygon. So when you draw your figure, the segments will be called sides. The point where two sides meet is a vertex. And at the vertex, the sides form an angle. Now we'll look at a picture of a polygon in just a minute, and we'll pick out what I mean by the sides, a vertex, and an angle. This is a picture of a polygon. Notice it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides. Each side is a line segment. You see the 5 line segments. Where the two sides come together, or where any two sides come together in a point, is called a vertex. So here's a vertex. This would be a vertex, vertex, a vertex, and a vertex. A vertex is just a point where two sides come together. And then if we want to talk about the angles of the polygon, an angle is formed by two sides intersecting. And the angle is the amount of opening there actually. This is the angle, and the size of the angle is determined by how open or how much of a turn there is here between the two sides. Okay, but this is an angle. There'd be an angle here at the vertex. There would be an angle at each vertex. Now, this particular polygon is called a regular polygon. The reason it's regular is all the sides are the same length. And sometimes you'll have all the sides marked the same way. to show you that all the sides are the same length. That's what it means to be regular. Now let's look at another polygon, and this time our polygon is not a regular. It's what we call an irregular polygon, because you see that we have sides that are different lengths. Here again is a side. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sides too, just like our first one, but it looks very different. Okay, it's called irregular because the sides are different lengths. Again, I marked one vertex. See, this is where the two sides come together at that point. That's a vertex, a vertex, a vertex, a vertex, and a vertex. You have an angle at every vertex, and I've just indicated one angle. Now, if you wanted to make sure somebody knew that none of your sides were the same length, you could mark your sides different way. Put one mark, maybe 2 marks there, 3 marks here, 4 marks here, and 5 marks here. Usually, however, you only mark the sides that are the same most of the time, just to show people that sides are the same. As we work with our polygons, we're going to spend most of our time in this unit with polygons that have either 3 sides or 4 sides. So we're going to look now at some of those polygons. A triangle is a polygon with 3 sides. And there's several different kinds of triangles that we'll be interested in. First of all, I've drawn an equilateral triangle in which all the sides are equal in length. And I might mark that to show you. Notice I've marked all sides the same way. The word equilateral means equal sided. So that's an equilateral triangle. A triangle is a polygon with 3 sides, and this particular one has all 3 of the sides the same length. Now let's look at another triangle. Here I've drawn an isosceles triangle. In an isosceles triangle, 2 of the sides are the same length. So I'm going to mark the 2 sides that are the same length. At this time, you don't need to remember this, but we often call our sides that are the same length legs, and our unequal side, which I'll mark a different way, we call the base. And then we also might have a triangle that we'll call a scaling triangle. Let's see if we can get all 3 of these up at the same time. A scaling triangle. And a scaling triangle is one in which all your sides have different lengths. In other words, no sides are equal in length. So if I wanted to show you that again, usually you don't see this marking, but if I wanted to show you, I'd mark all 3 of the sides a different way. So we have 3 kinds of triangles that we'll be concerned about. Equilateral, where all the sides are the same length. Isosceles, where 2 of the sides are the same length. And scaling, where all the sides are different lengths. So these are 3 different categories that we give, category names we give to triangles in relationship to their sides. Now we'd like to talk about some of the special polygons that have 4 sides. Okay, just the general name for polygon with 4 sides is a quadrilateral. Quad means 4 and the lateral for sides, so quadrilateral. Okay, a quadrilateral that you're probably pretty familiar with is a rectangle. So let's look at a picture of a rectangle.